sit down on this one?
No, we're good. We're good.
You're good.
You should stand at the front when you do your speech.
I'm filming now, by the way.
Okay. I'm trained in this, so I really don't need any more. I think I got it. Oh, you made it, Ernie. Okay, it's from, I'm supposed to memorize this speech, so we can start right there. Okay. Somewhere out there, there's somebody that's in trouble. It's a life and death situation. They've arrived at the hospital, and there's the doctors, they've got their equipment, their monitors, and they're ready to go, but there's no blood. There's no blood for this person. There's no blood because there's no blood donors. Off and on we hear about blood donation. It's something that I put off. It's something that scares a lot of people. Well, I'm here to try and make you feel more comfortable with donating blood. I'm going to cover some points about the blood supply, some points on the donation process, and how long does blood last. Now, the blood supply is the blood that people donate, and it's limited. In ABC News interview, Red Cross President Dr. Bernadine Healy stated, "This is one of the worst shortages the Red Cross has ever seen. 36 regions were on appeal, which means they have less than a one-day supply of blood. One of the regions is Los Angeles. Blood shortages usually happen in the summer. If blood's not available for a patient who needs an organ transplant, the patient would be forced to give up their place on the list and wait again. One car accident the injuries from one car accident can require as much as 100 pints of blood. The American Cancer Society last year reported that there was 1.7 million cases of cancer, and that in order for those people to be treated for that cancer, they need to be supplied blood. Chemotherapy destroys your blood, and so they need blood transfusions. There's also a chance, 1 in 7 people that go to a hospital will be requiring blood at some point during their stay. Blood doesn't last forever. Now, red blood is good for, we think, 47 days. The blood plasma, which is a different part of the blood, can last up to 1 year, and the platelets are good for 5 days. There's in my research on this, there's a story I read about a young guy that was a victim in an accident. The Washington Post tells the story. 1 month after graduating from high school, he was coming home from swim practice and was involved in a nearly fatal car accident with a dump truck. The injuries were catastrophic. The impact of the crash violently ripped his heart across his chest, shattered his ribs, clavicle, and pelvis, collapsed lungs, damaged pretty much every organ. He had lost 60% of his blood. After 14 life-saving operations, 36 blood transfusions, and 13 plasma treatments, the guy made a full recovery. I think that's pretty amazing. When I first started working with Edison, my supervisor at the plant called me and the other guy and talked to us about blood donation. It was the first time I'd heard about it or considered it. I respected him, so I kind of couldn't say no. And so I said, well, when are we going to do it? He says, that day. So he drug us down and convinced me to give blood. And it really wasn't that bad. It wasn't that, all the fears I had, it wasn't that painful. Another guy at the plant, Mike Mahoney, once did a blood drive. He was able to get 7 employees to go down at one time to give blood at the Red Cross, which I think is pretty amazing. Let me tell you about a blood. I don't know if any of you have donated blood, but in a visit to the blood donation center, there's 4 steps to the process. When you get there, you register, and they ask you some questions about where you've traveled, and they do a little medical background, you fill out the form, and then they sit you down. The second step is they sit you down and they do a little medical on you. They do a prick and check your blood type, and they check your blood pressure. After they do this, they sit you down in the chair. The technician will go and he'll find a spot on your arm, find a vein, and sometimes he'll mark it with a pen. And then they'll hook up and they'll draw your blood. It can take it can be as fast as 8 minutes. Once they draw your blood, they ask you to stay there. And they give you all these cookies and juice and things to help you relax. It's pretty nice. Overall, the whole thing is a pretty friendly experience. One thing, when I was there, they helped me to create a login on their site. And with the login, it'll track how much blood you donate. It'll give you feedback. It'll tell you your cholesterol. And a cool thing I didn't realize is they actually, when my blood was being used, they sent me a text to say, hey, your blood's being used right now. I'm not a patient. That's pretty cool. A main reason that people don't give blood, I think, is fear of the needles. I read an article in Men's Health magazine titled, "Are You Sick of Fear?" They suggested that in order to overcome this fear, that you focus on something else besides blood. Focus on a point in the room or a word, anything to take your negative thoughts out of your mind. They also suggest to concentrate on your breathing. And if you're afraid in any way of needles, don't watch. Don't look at it. Some people have the thought in their mind that if they watch, next time it'll be easier. But that whole plan can backfire because it just means that next time there'll be more anxiety about giving blood. There's another article I read that in the Eyewitness Live website, they talked about the benefits of being a blood donor. You get something back when you give. It stimulates blood flow, regulates blood regeneration, maintains iron balance, promotes longevity, and reduces oxidative stress in the blood vessels. Which, a lot of those benefits, who'd know, right? In conclusion, I covered a lot of different areas of blood donation. I hope that what I've given you will help you decide whether you want to be a donor. There's a lot of stories written about the success and gratefulness of people that have been blood recipients. It's important that it's a human thing to give blood, but you've got to be relaxed about it. You got to be able to relax and donate. One thing I can tell you is if you do donate, it's guaranteed that there's somebody out there that's in trouble and you're going to help them out of a tight spot. So I think it's important that we all consider blood donation. That's it.
That's very good. Thank you, David. Good job. Now,